It's Crafty Hope here, and I am working on another one of my art journal color inspirations. This time I am working off the color wheel, color blue. This was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Blue is actually my favorite color, but as we discussed in my last color inspiration video, it's really blue-green that I like. So finding something that was a true blue that didn't have any violet or green in it was really hard. And so you can see I pulled out a lot of things out here on my stash, trying to find something that didn't have a whole lot of you can see a couple there with the green influence. I can see it right now. So a lot of them tended to be on the lighter scale as far as like a true blue. So I started with this. It's a Distress Stain in Stormy Sky, which I forgot how much I really love working with those distress stains. It was really gorgeous. I just kind of swabbed that on down there, moved it around with the paintbrush, and it worked out really beautifully. So I've got a Lindy's spray here, and I believe it's Azure Sea Asters is what it is. I'll have a link below to it, or at least have it written out to confirm that's what it is. But again, I was looking for things that had that true blue, and that did it. So I dried this real quick thinking I was done with all of that, but then I realized I had a Distress Oxide in Broken China, which I believe is also kind of a true blue. So I went ahead and put that down on my nonstick craft sheet and sprayed it with some water, and then I'm using a fan brush, I think. No, I think that's just some kind of floppy brush to put some splatter down so it looks kind of like it was sprayed the with the Distress Oxide, and then I'm going to dry it. Now what I really liked is areas where that Distress Stain got wet, it reacted, because most of the distress stuff is water reactive. So I thought that was really awesome. So yeah. And then I took my Stabilo in black and just scribbled, and then I'm going to use this big paintbrush to activate it, but just in a couple spots. I didn't activate it the whole thing, so you can see where like some of the lines are kind of drippy and I don't know, activated and some are not. So I did that, but it was awful wet and I wanted to kind of just stop it. So I sopped up some of the water there with just a piece of dictionary paper that was sitting on my desk, and got that, and that means that I've got that piece of dictionary paper now that's got some of that yummy Stabilo on it that I can play with later. So that'll be a nice little bit to add to something later. Now I realized this wasn't completely dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and dry it real quick. And you see I'm sopping up some of the wet with the that is, what is that? I believe it is a recipe card. It's just an old index card that I tore down to kind of get some of the harsh edges off the side of, and then I'm going to glue it down. So I'm going to do a little bit of collage here with some of my paper. I was trying to keep all the papers that I'm adding fairly monochromatic, so they're like just black and white, or like this is, y'all, this paper, I really love it. It is a piece of copy paper that I scrunched up and put it in a tub and poured in some of the leftover coffee at my house. We make a big pot every morning and we don't always drink all of it. Most of it's gone, but there's still usually, half a cup, 2 cups, whatever, whoever didn't get any. And I just dumped that in a pot with that balled up. Well, I balled it out and then I flattened it out, I think, and then let it dry. And that paper came out so beautifully, and I'll be doing that again with some of the leftover coffee. I might even do it today. So, and then I've got some other paper. This is some typewritten paper that's, you can see how aged and old it looks. It's brittle and yummy and perfect. But since my focus was the blue, I decided to kind of keep with, just the aged papers and black writing on them, and that's kind of it. So, and I'm just using my Uhu glue stick to stick these things down, and yeah, kind of doing a line across the page, not completely, but I didn't want those papers to feel too much like they were floating, because I didn't want them to be I guess, the focus of the page. I wanted them to be part of the background, and I'll do a couple things to kind of help integrate them in the background here in a little bit once I get them down. Yeah, and I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking, yeah, I was trying to decide I needed something else to connect. Yeah, that little area there where you see those two corners touch. Because I wanted everything, again, like I said, to be connected, to not be floating there by itself. So I got that down, and then I'm going to move on to, I think I'm going to grab, that's a Liquitex acrylic ink in cerulean blue. I think that's how you say it. And I am just using the tip of it. I didn't even put any of the ink up in the nozzle. I am just getting the tip of it wet with the ink and dabbing that on there, making some dots with that, using it as its own tool. So that is probably my least favorite thing on the page, I have to tell you. Everything else on there felt very organic and had a lot of movement. And those dots, you can see me there thinking, trying to figure out how I can fix that. Those dots just blew it for me. So I'm trying to integrate some of the papers in instead of those dots, and I grabbed some acrylic paint that's a master's touch, and I believe it's sky blue, and I just put a little bit down on my table, and I'm rubbing my finger across some of that. And so here you see me lift up some of that acrylic ink where I'd made the dots, which is kind of nice because it kind of spread it out and made it a little more, picked up some of it and made it just a tad bit more organic feeling than it had felt. So that was just my thing. Those are some new stickers. I cannot remember what they're called. I think it's like Art by Marlene. I will put the name of them below. I got them off of joggles.com. I think that's where I got them. And they are just some fun sentiment stickers, and they're thinner than the Tim Holtz ones. And I'm enjoying them. I can't remember, is this the second time I've used them? Possibly. I found one that said Artistic Adventures, and I thought that was kind of fun because that's kind of what I'm doing with this whole inspiration project, is having kind of an artistic adventure. So I got that down, and then I'm going to take a white China marker and just add a couple little dots in there. I think since I put those cerulean blue dots down, I wanted to add some more dots in. So I do that. I'm going to use a Sharpie pen to go around my little sentiment and make a couple of tiny dots. And then that's going to be it for this page, y'all. It was a really, really fast page, especially for me, that I couldn't believe it when I brought it up, and it was only 20 minutes long. I did speed it up and take out some of the non-necessary things for y'all to see, like drying time and stuff like that, but I'm really happy with this page. I think I've really made blue work, especially for not feeling like I had a whole lot of blue in my stash, or true blue. So I hope you'll like this. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and keep on crafting on. Thanks for watching. Bye.